Today, as part of our Business Spotlight program, I'm talking to Aisling Ryan. She's CEO of Ryan's Cleaning, and they're based in Thurles in County Tipperary. So over to you, Aisling. What is it you do, and for how long have you been doing it?
Thanks for having me, Kevin. So I'm Aisling. I am the current CEO of Ryan's Cleaning. I am the second generation of a family-run business. So Ryan's Cleaning has been going for 40 years, and it was set up by my parents, and they have since retired, and now I have taken over. So we are a cleaning company, but we specialize in events and sporting events and music venues in the cleaning of all of those.
Very good. You mentioned your electric picnic is one that you'll be looking at this weekend, which is
Yes, yeah.
fantastic. Fantastic. That's great. And you've been growing obviously over 40 years from your parents, and you've taken over the baton or the mantle or whatever. What do you attribute your growth to the growth of the business?
A lot of things. I think a lot of it definitely in the early days was determination on my parents' side.
Okay.
So I come from a big family. There's seven kids.
Well, okay.
So they really had to work hard to make sure that they were able to support all of us.
Of
So
course.
there's a lot of determination on their side in the early years. But as the business started to grow, definitely a huge part of the growth was the team that they had. So no matter what you do in business, your team is very important, because they play a huge role in it. So that was definitely a huge part of the growth as we went along.
Fantastic. So, and it's one that we're working on a lot these days is getting the right team doing the right things at the right time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And again, there's a whole lot involved in that, which we'll touch on some other questions in a minute. Um, if you had to start from square one in business, what would you do differently?
Well, for me, I think maybe it's a different way to answer the question because I didn't start the business from scratch.
Hmm,
But I think from when I came into the business and started moving into management roles, I would definitely trust my gut more.
okay.
That's a huge thing. Maybe not to necessarily listen to what people are telling you around when you know deep down that your way might be the correct way to do something. Also, you take on advice, but your gut really tells you a lot.
Fantastic. Yeah. Because again, advice is just that. It's advice is to kind of blend it into what you know best
Yeah.
yourself. Fantastic. So your instinct, your gut, whatever it is, yeah, what you think is the best. And again, maybe just going on to the team aspect, what have been your biggest learnings as an employer since you began in the business yourself?
For me personally, it's realizing you can't do everything.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I think as a business owner, you forget that you don't have to know everything and you don't have to be able to do everything. We hire people with the expertise and the knowledge to tell us how to do the things we don't know how to do. So we have to be able to trust them to do their job so that we are not putting pressure on ourselves to try and learn everything.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fantastic because it's one of the keys to getting a business working without you, as we mentioned at
Yeah,
this time.
true. Yeah.
Another one that some of my interviewees find a bit tricky. How do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
That's a really hard one. I have to say it's really hard. Um, for me, my big thing is that you have to set time aside for your personal life. And when you're doing that, you just have to remove yourself from the work element of it. It's not easy to do. It's very hard to do because you tend to be on call all the time, but that time is really important so that you can unwind and realize that there is a life outside of your business as well.
Yep, absolutely. It's 100. Do a lot of work with that with business owners and getting that right. And of course, it varies from person to person.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right. If you've got that excellent team around you, you trust them to do the job you're paying them to do, and they do
Yes.
it, and you measure. We can measure that, of course. Then it's you're on the path to getting to to pulling not being on call 24/7.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, and going back to the team and the employees, what qualities do you look for in employees, and how do you foster a positive and productive work environment?
It's a good question. For us, I think people have to be a people's person in our job. We deal with the public a lot on events. No matter what you do, you're dealing with people. So people, new employees, they have to be strong on that skill. They really do. Um, the other element then is teamwork. So we don't work on our own. Everybody works as a team together. So you have to be able to work as a team. That would be really important for us.
Okay. Yeah, and absolutely, I suppose the whole culture of the business. I mean, to last 40 years, I mean, have a
Yeah.
different culture. I know I'm doing a lot of work with different business owners on that one, and getting that right has a huge impact. You know, to quote old Peter Drucker, back the management guru back in the 60s and 70s, culture eats strategy for breakfast. You know, if you've got a, as you say, if
Yes.
you've got a great team, you've got a great culture, kind of, as you say,
Yes.
family business, the strategies you can implement are easier. Equally, if you don't have a great culture, the strategies are
Yes.
hard work.
But also if you have a great culture, your team are happy and
Yes,
they're enjoying their work, which is a huge thing as well. If they're in a place where the culture is not great, they're not going to enjoy their work. They're not going to enjoy coming to work. So that's really important as well.
fantastic. Absolutely, couldn't agree more, actually. And I suppose just to round up, what are some common misconceptions about running a business, and how do you address them?
Oh, the biggest one I think is that people think it's a 9 to 5 job. It really isn't a 9 to 5 job. Um, you know, I think no matter what industry you're in or what business you're in, if you're a business owner, it's really not. You're on call all the time. You're always thinking about the business. You're thinking about the next investment you're going to make in your business and, new employees you might have to take on. And there's always something to think about, but people just don't realize how much is involved in it.
Absolutely, yeah. There's quite a bit, and I mean, getting it organized and getting it all into shape. It's an honor
Yeah.
when I find basically working with business owners. Ashley, look, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for taking the time. It's great for our viewers to get a bit of learning from how you've moved on, and second generation has taken over smoothly by the sound of it.
I hope so anyway.